Hi folks, and welcome to another episode of Michael's Backyard Marina. Have you had a situation like I've got on my boat? I'm going to show you what I've got going on right here, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to address it. Or do you have a boat cleat that looks like this one? Straight slotted screws. Different boat cleat than the other one by a little bit. The other one had Phillips screws. Still, multiple holes. That looks terrible. What? Yet a third style of boat cleat with Phillips and straight. What's going on here? And I'm guessing there's at least, let's just call it 3 holes. Okay, awesome. Now look at this boat cleat. It's just like the other one from about here over. 3 holes, but we're missing a whole nother part of the cleat. That's kind of a problem. The other problem I have right here is this boat cleat is here. The curve of the boat stops about right here, about 3 to 4 feet. Now that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're tying up to a dock and you're trying to hang a fender off of here, the boat can be wider than the fender. The whole idea behind using a boat fender is it protects your boat. And it can't do that when it's past the curve. So you want to put your fender protection somewhere in here where it starts to curve, and you can tie your boat up tight between the front and back cleat against your fender so that it can't rub or bounce and cause problems. Now I can hear some of you right now going, Mike, what's the big deal? And I'd go, what? My name's not Mike, it's Michael. So you might say, Michael, what's the big deal? Well, most people don't tie up, I shouldn't say most, a lot of people don't even tie up to docks a lot of times, you know, they're out in the lake. But me, I like to tie up to the dock because if I go to some of these lakes, they actually have lunches that you can go up there and have a cold snack and a lunch and enjoy getting out of the sun for a minute, get a little of the waviness of the motion of the lake off your legs and your butt, and just sit down and relax for a minute and then go back and do some more fun. And so you pull in these slips, and the last time I was in a slip, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, they're U-shaped. They're not boat-shaped. So you gotta have your fenders in the right spot. Now, those of you that never tie up to a dock, never use a fender, this video, you might as well just stop, go click on one of my other videos. And don't forget to like and subscribe that one as well. So what I'm gonna do, I've got a remedy for this. I think this is gonna work pretty slick. And I'm going to show you what I purchased and how I'm going to install it. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to put on the boat. Check these guys out. This is a pops up, lays down flat boat cleat. These are all 100% stainless steel. It's got 3 fastened down holes here with 3 different size screws. Sorry, 2 different size screws. Look at that. That's a clean look. And if you're not fastening down into wood, it also comes with two sizes of machine screw that do the exact same job, but it'll bolt through and draw a nut up on the back side. So depending on whether your boat has good wood to fasten down to, or it's a through situation where it goes clear through a fiberglass area, or a wood area, or aluminum area, it gives you the opportunity to bolt down on the same, the 2 ways. They provide that. And this comes in as a pack of 4. So, because typically most people have, 2 cleats in the front, 2 cleats in the back. Except in my situation here, since I'm going to cover up some holes, I'm going to put 1 in the front, 1 in the middle, and 1 in the back, or, forward middle. I think that's the way I'm going to run it. Why wouldn't I do that? Let's go ahead and remove one and see what we've got. Now, just to give you an idea of size here, that's the size of these 2. Now look at the difference, what that's going to look like on the boat when it's down. And then it's got a finger hole here, which is nice, so you can reach in and pop it up. So it's virtually the same size as what I've got. And that looks like about 4.5 inches. I'll get my tape measure out here and give you an overall here in a minute. All right, I used my impact driver with a Phillips bit, and I backed off the existing screws to remove this particular one. It came out relatively easy. Substantially smaller screws than the ones provided. So I'll be drilling new holes. I could actually use this right here if I wanted to. But in order to cover things up, and you want this facing outward. And the reason I say that is you want, when this is in use, and there's pressure pulling on it, you want it to pull this way to the outside of the boat, because that's how you're going to hang your fenders and stuff on. But that's going to make a nice clean look out of that. That's going to look fantastic. Let's clean this up and get it ready to mark and drill some holes. So now that I have it set up where I want it, you can take a Sharpie and kind of mark it, the holes. Ooh, did that leave a mark? Okay. Now that I have it marked, and I'm not sure how you folks do this, but when I'm selecting a drill bit, especially when I'm going through hard stuff like this, is I want one that's a little smaller, just barely to be smaller than the root of that screw. Because on fiberglass, it doesn't do like wood and spread out and expand very much. So what I want to do is I want to have this, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm looking down the body of it, seeing that the body of this here is the same size as the main part you see in there without the thread sticking off of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill those two holes out with that drill. Now I did hit fiberglass and then I hit wood, which is a good feeling. Smells like fiberglass. And then I'm going to do the little one. Now here's the little screw. It's a little bit smaller. It's quite a bit smaller. Now another little trick you'll learn, I'm going to share with you, is I take a countersink. This one's actually gigantic. But you want to countersink this hole enough so that the screw itself will not hit the gel coat. Gives you a nice clean edge. And this way, the gel coat will not chip on you. As you can see here, some people that drilled some stuff here, they just went after it and they chipped the living crap out of the gel coat. This will keep it from chipping. Now that we've got this done, I'm going to take in the old holes that are here, I'm going to put some silicone in them. And what that'll do is that'll keep moisture from getting down in here. On, you know, you're gonna have the dewy mornings and stuff, and right below your gel coat is your wood. So let's protect that. I'm gonna take a little cleaner, scrub that a little bit, and we'll be good to go. Now that it's cleaned off, I'm gonna use some of my marine grade silicone. And actually I'm gonna put it in all the holes, and I'll tell you why. This will act as a lubricant for the other holes. You know, the ones I'm running the threads down in, it'll act as a lubricant for that. And it'll actually help it thread in there just a little bit easier. The other thing it's going to do for me is that little bit of silicone is going to be a little sticky and kind of hold this in place for me while I'm doing this activity. Let's see how the little screw goes in. Nice. Now, nobody can argue that that's not a clean look. Might be with my fingers, I can get in there okay. But look at that, that's gonna be a cleat. I can shake the whole boat. And I can also wipe the excess silicone off that's over these holes. Cool, we'll let that dry as we move on to the next. Now, all you experienced boat anglers out there, you already know this little detail, and that's fine. So you got your cleats on your boat. You're going to put your bumper on. Most of your bumpers will come with a loop like this. If you get a good set of bumpers, they'll come in with a string about yay long. And all you do is you take this guy. There's no completely wrong or right way. Hook this bad boy around there, and then go ahead and do your normal hitchy thing. I do that so it makes it easy to grab and go. But now you're protected. And the cool part about this, doing it that way, because I've been in the past, I was the guy that didn't know what he was doing. And I'd tie this into a loop, so I just hang it. Well, sometimes it'd hang down here, right? And it's hard to get a tight loop that wraps around it and keeps things where you want it. Well, the cool part about this setup is you can easily get this as tight as you want. You can get it right up there at the top, so it's got bumper everywhere. And you can just hitch that thing right there, and that'll stay like that even, you know, depending on what you're doing. Now, another thing I want to show you that you may or may not know, and all you experienced boaters and everything out there, it's okay for you to go. I'm going to show you something interesting though. Earlier in the video, we talked about cleat location. I got one at the back of the boat, and there was one at the front of the boat. And I put one right here. Now, there's a big reason for that, because I'm going to show you why you don't want them. You can put them up front here for other reasons, but not for bumpers, not for fenders, and I'll show you why. So the same bumper, this is a big, thick bumper. Fender, I'm sorry, I keep calling it a bumper, it's a fender. Now I want to show you what that looks like. Because, you got to ignore my batteries are charging right there, ignore that cord. But look down the length of that boat. Look down the side. I'm going to get you right lined up with it. Now, this is your boat dock you're docking up to, or slip you're going into. How much bumper you see hanging out? Basically zero. The slips, like I said before, aren't boat shaped. They're rectangular. This ain't going to protect your boat from jack or crap. Now I'm going to show you why you put one right where the curve of the boat starts and at the back of the boat. We'll slip this through here, just like we learned how to do. Now look where that's sitting. Miles and miles of difference. This is going to keep your boat off the dock. The nice thing is you can put one here, you put one at the back one, you tie your back up to the dock, and you can still come up here depending on where the cleats are on the dock. You can still come up here and tie this one up to the dock, and it's going to actually pull up against this. And then your boat's protected. It's not going to sit there and bang, and this ain't doing anything. That actually goes clear under the boat. That's great. But if this bumper clear up here is protecting you, you're probably on top of the dock somewhere, and you might be protected from a pole that's on top of the dock or the pier. Anyway, I thought I'd share that little bit of information with you. There's a handful of beginners out there. We see them at the boat ramps, first time loading their boat in the water. I highly encourage those folks to watch some YouTube and get familiar with it. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative and helpful. As always, This cleat is pretty sweet. That's all there is to it. I'm pretty darn tickled. You know, I had some extra holes in the boat that I was able to put silicone in, seal up, and cover up with a nice piece of hardware that's gonna serve its purpose for many, many years to come. Quite honestly, I wouldn't mind having a couple more on here. And I only say that because I think it would be pretty cool to have it on here to tie up anywhere I want to tie up. You might have a fender one, and you might have a tie-off one, or vice versa. Or, I mean, when they look this nice, and they're reasonably priced, I feel, compared to other ones I've seen that were simpler, like just a regular cleat horn and that's it, for 15 bucks. These are cost about $17.50 a piece for a nice fold down clean. I mean, you can't beat that. You just can't. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Get out there and have some fun. Like I said before, all the links to everything used in this video will be in the description below, plus some other stuff. Don't be afraid to click on some links and go to Amazon or these other places and check out all the stuff I've got down there. It doesn't cost you a dime to click on those links and go visit those sites, or visit the sites or Amazon. You make some purchase, I get a little bit of a commission. It doesn't cost you any more. They give me a little commission for advertising, and it helps to keep this channel going. Because some of this stuff isn't cheap, and I want to keep bringing quality videos to you folks, and I want to keep bringing quality products. And there again, I will not endorse or show you anything that's junk. If I show it on the video, there's chances are I use it and I like it. If it ain't on the video, if it ain't in the video, it's because I don't like it, and I ain't going to share it with other people. Or I may tell you, don't go here, lesson learned type situation. But we're about ready to throw this boat in the water for this weekend. We're doing a few touch-up things to get her #1 ready for to get some fish in the boat. And we'll see you on the next video, folks. This is Michael saying, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. Take care. And don't be afraid to cleat or not to cleat. That is the question. I suggest you cleat.